Vegas nights. Oh, Vegas lights. Oh, Vegas nights. Oh, Vegas lights. Oh, it's Vegas nights. Oh, Vegas lights. Vegas nights, boxing fights. Man, we high as rocket flights. Bottles, tubs, stock with ice. She rockin' baby skirt, a girl rockin' tight. Like Rocketeer, I am here to bring you to my atmosphere. Jump smoker is what you hear. Somebody better order me some.
She's been doing really well with keeping on track with some newer protocols that she's been trying out for the first time in the last 2 weeks. So we're going to ask just a few questions to her and show you how she's been preparing for this and what her overall plan was.
Finishing college and playing basketball and being done with my athletic career, I needed something to focus my goals on, and this just seemed like a good challenge for me. For me, I've definitely cut a good bit of cardio out, and the majority of it has been lifting, as heavy as I can actually. Females that think you're going to get big by lifting, I'm lifting probably 2 to 3 times the weight in a lot of the lifts that I've been doing than what I normally do, but I'm definitely leaner. Waking up, I usually drink a really huge glass of water. It's probably like 16 ounces or something first thing when I get up. Breakfast is usually 2 whole eggs and maybe a couple of whites. On the lower carb days, I'll have just that and maybe some peppers and onions in it, maybe a cheese stick with it or something like that. And then if it's a higher carb day, I'll have a bowl of oatmeal added in with all of that. Like a quarter cup or half cup of plain Greek yogurt. Plain Greek yogurt has very little sugar in it and is very, very high in protein and a lifesaver for me for the snacks that I need throughout the day. Meal prepping ahead of the week is huge. When I get up in the morning, I hit the ground running and usually don't have a lot of time in the morning. So sometimes for the eggs during the week, if I don't have time to eat at home, I boil a bunch of eggs at the beginning of the week so I can just take those in and have that as breakfast. And then going ahead and grilling a ton of chicken and having a ton of vegetables ready in prepackaged containers so I can just take the amount of food that I want into work and have it all day long, because then I'm never going to reach a point where I don't have food and I get so hungry that I go grab something that I shouldn't be eating. If anyone's thinking of doing it, don't think that the posing that they do is easy, because I went into it thinking there was nothing to that and that you just kind of prance around in high heels, but it actually is really hard, and I've been sore from practicing it, and you sweat from it.
So to get as lean as she possibly could, she also changed her diet to have a high protein, high fat intake and a lower carbohydrate intake. Now, I'm not saying ketogenic, just a little bit lower. So the past 2 weeks, she's been doing 15% carbohydrate on her low calorie, low carb days, and we're doing carbohydrate cycling. So the other day when she recovers, she's having a higher calorie intake, usually between 300 and 500 extra calories, not a huge amount, and that's usually coming from a good quality source carbohydrate.
You want me like the other boys do.
The first and most important thing I want you to remember is to be in the moment tomorrow. You have trained your little booties off. You have eaten asparagus and fish and dried chicken out of bags, and you've worked so hard. And what happens is you take a step on that stage and you're nervous and excited and whatever, and it happens so fast, you walk off and you go, I have no idea what just went down for the last 15 minutes. And I don't know how I feel, I don't know how I did.
I don't know what call out I was in.
Yeah, I don't even know my name.
Right?
You were on stage, they called your number, you didn't even know you had a number, you forgot you were wearing one. Go out on stage. I always say take a moment when you're standing on the side to really feel the floor under your feet. Like, see the audience, see the judges, feel the warmth of the lights, because all of those things kind of like ground you in the present moment to project all of your happiness and enthusiasm and confidence, because at the end of the day, that's really what's going to make you stand
The
out.
judges, they get caught in that confidence in your face. And it can make all the difference in the world. During prejudging, really focus on what the judges are saying. So when they say to turn to the rear or turn to the right, that you're not the only one still standing there with that frozen look.
The nervous, manic smiling. So we've all been there
It
before.
scares the judges.
Like, I'm not blinking, and I'm just going to smile as big as I can because I'm nervous. And you look a little crazy. Take your face, close your mouth for a second, keep the pleasant look, and then re-smile. And they stare down the judge like he's going to like me. And it's like it's really uncomfortable. So again, when you go up and you're hitting your front pose, own it. Go up, hit your pose, smile, relax. If you're there for a while, yeah, it's okay. You can switch your hips, but typically you're not there long enough to require this.
They want you to hit the front, do your turn, hit your back, and move on.
So the rule of thumb that we always say is think in your head, thank you very much. So you walk out, do, 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 and you hit your pose if you're bikini, or you hit your pose if you're figure, or you hit your pose if you're a men's physique, or whatever you boys do. And think in your head, thank you very much. Next pose, if you're figure, thank you very much. If you're bikini, thank you very much.
My standard front pose. I hit a standard front pose. I hit a pretty personal pose. Come around, show my back pose. I'm not doing full poses right now, sorry. And then do another side pose, say thank you very much, and walk right on up. Now remember, when you're waiting off to the side, that you're still being judged. So you don't want to walk off to the side and just be like, oh boy, can't believe I made her feel like just stand there. You know, you let your abs go or something. You want to still be standing there holding yourself high and just as if you were in that center box on stage. And the more nervous a figure girl gets, the wider your arms get. The judges don't want to see you out there holding the box, the barrel, or the baby.
So on the day of, there's a prejudging, which is in the morning. This one started at 10 a.m. That part of it is actually the more important portion. It's when the judges do their critique of everyone and they decide who gets placed. You don't find out at that point, but they already have in their mind who's going to get what. So you do everything as you would for the night. You do quarter turns and figures. So you do a front pose, a front shot. They say quarter turn, you turn to your right, you do a side pose. They say quarter turn again, a back pose, and then another side pose.
Ladies, face the curtain, please.
Looking good, 40!
Quarter turn to the right,
Yeah, Heather!
another quarter turn facing the rear,
Come on, Shannon!
another quarter turn to the right, and now face the judges. Okay. Okay, now you can go to the stage right, and we'll start bringing out number 172.
preparation, and what we'll hear about now is a little bit behind the scenes work with last minute preparations, final week countdown, and what to eat on the day of the competition, or at least what most of the competitors were doing. What was it like from the extra side? Maybe not even nutritionally, but things maybe you didn't think about when getting ready for a physique show.
I guess I didn't realize how much actually goes into what you need to look like to be on stage, and by that I mean the tanning sessions that you have to do, the bikini bite, which is basically butt glue that goes on your suit to hold it in place, a glaze that goes on you, you know, having the right jewelry and the right bling and the right, you know, suit and the color, and the heels need to be a certain height, and all those little extra things that you don't know going in as a first-time competitor. The makeup on stage, it doesn't even look like you're that tan because of how bright the lights are, and you need it because it helps to, you know, show your muscles and definition more.
What do you eat the night before, the morning of, and what do you see people eating backstage and stuff? Because you can wait around for hours at a time.
Saturday morning I got up at 5 a.m. I went to the gym and did just a really quick little like 10 to 15 minute sort of pump warm up workout. Went and got the second spray tan done. I had 2 eggs and a small thing of oatmeal and coffee. I had some vegetables. I think I had some asparagus and a little bit of chicken. I took a whole thing of food with me, so I had some chicken and some steak pieces, and then some butternut squash. Most people had sweet potatoes with them. Actually, I had half of a sweet potato with me. So the thought is that, you know, you try to keep your carbs fairly low, and or you may do a carb cycle leading up to the event, and then not have much the couple days before, but then on the day of, you do have carbohydrate. And for me, a lot of people deplete their water and they get dehydrated to try to make their muscles show more, but I guess research, you know, kind of points that that's sort of an old way of thinking. And so I drank water, I just didn't drink as much as I normally would, but I did have carbohydrate that day to try to, you know, pump your muscles up a little bit more, and needed the water to help that happen.
Yeah, and that was an important step, not dehydrating, because so many people do these physique shows in a way that is not really healthy, and I think we should point that out. It's like, you can do physique competitions without starving yourself. You can do it without depleting yourself entirely. You can do it without feeling entirely run down or even sick. If you don't eat enough calories, you know, immune function can drop as well. So the manipulations that we had Lauren doing were as healthy as we could make it for the last 2 weeks, well, for the entire time she was getting ready, but also for the last 2 weeks and even the day of the competition. So I think that's an important point, that we did it in a healthy way.
I was able to test my resting metabolic rate and see where it was, and so using that to try to gauge how many calories I should be having in a day. And we have those services. One, you have been in labs, I'm sure, where you do that, but at the Wellness Center with my job, I oversee testing, so we do resting metabolic rate, we have a bod pod, we do VO2 testing, we do all those things. So, you know, you can have that starting point and not just try to guess what you should be eating, the number of calories that you should have, because you may be way off of what you think that your body's burning, than just, you know, having a couple of cravings here and there where, oh God, I'd really love to have some pizza or a cheeseburger, sounds great. It really wasn't a hard process with the eating.
It's really important that you can find a way to do it where you still eat things that you like. You just manipulate the portions and the distribution of the calories between the macronutrients. Right?
Coming off the stage, I did have a big sense of accomplishment, because the biggest thing about doing this for me was overcoming a fear of being in front of people and being on a stage and making myself do something that really did kind of scare the crap out of me. We went to an Italian restaurant and I had 2 rolls with olive oil and balsamic, and then I got a big dish of lasagna, and it was amazing. And then I had some of it today. And I also had a cheesecake, well, a slice of cheesecake. All although I did wake up this morning with my stomach completely in knots.
You know, eating clean year-round is something that we always do with a few exceptions. So I think it shows you can lead a lifestyle of fitness, a lifestyle of health, and quality, nourishing foods, and you know, leave room for some fun, but get back on track. It's about consistency, right? Not perfection.
We're gonna skate to one song only.
Yeah, so hard, nothing, that's one fun.